What's going on, everyone? We are back and we have officially made it to Super Bowl week. Bittersweet for sure, our last game of the NFL season, but no doubt should be a hell of a game. And with Super Bowl 53 only a couple of days away, you know what time it is. I have got my game breakdowns along with my predictions outright on the spread, so let's get right into it. As everyone knows, the two teams that will be squaring off in this year's Super Bowl are the New England Patriots and the LA Rams. And the last time we were talking NFL playoff predictions, we were looking at the AFC and NFC matchups where we have the Chiefs and the Patriots and then the Saints and the Rams. And for what it's worth, we got 50% of the equation correct as far as Super Bowl participants are concerned because we predicted the Patriots over the Chiefs. And that was a heck of a game, went into overtime. Ultimately, Tom Brady leading the Patriots to a victory. We didn't quite hit on the Saints and Rams game, but that game probably has a bit of an asterisk next to it. And, I don't blame Saints fans for still discussing it, still probably being livid about the outcome of that game because of that late call in the fourth quarter, or I should say lack thereof, because, there was no PI called, there was no helmet-to-helmet called. And I do think, the argument should be made that if that call is made by the referees, we could have very well a different outcome. But ultimately, it wasn't. We have to move on. The game goes into overtime. The Saints had a chance, but the Rams, look, give credit where credit is due. They stepped up defensively, they forced a turnover, and then they got into field goal range and got the victory. So I don't want to discredit the Rams at all. They played in a very tough environment. They earned this victory, and they earned the right to be in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a great matchup. And speaking of matchups, let's deep dive that, starting with the quarterback position where we've got Brady versus Goff. And speaking of Brady, man, this is his 9th Super Bowl appearance. That is absolutely insane. It's hard to fathom that this is his 9th Super Bowl appearance. Some guys, they're lucky to make it there once, but Brady almost been there double digits. That's why I think this guy should be the GOAT as far as NFL quarterbacks are concerned. For any concerns about Brady falling off a cliff, maybe some people point to the regular season, but when the Patriots get to the postseason, Brady and Belichick are just on a whole nother level. The Patriots are on a whole nother level, and I think Brady has had some great playoff games these last 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, I should say, for the New England Patriots. And I think when it comes to time for the Super Bowl, I think he's going to have a great game again. Win or lose, I expect Brady to play great. Now, looking at Jared Goff, obviously a lot younger, a lot less experience. There were some concerns at the end of the season about that Rams offense, how it was playing. I do think some of those concerns have been put to bed because Jared Goff has rebounded. That offense has rebounded. And, they've looked good these last couple of games as well. But ultimately, I'm giving the advantage here to Tom Brady, no questions. He's got the experience. He knows what it's like to play at this stage, on this level. And when it comes to clutch performances, I will take him late in the fourth quarter over Jared Goff. Now, let's look at some of these weapons starting at the running back position. We have got Todd Gurley and CJ Anderson. Gurley quite possibly the best running back in the NFL for the Rams. And then CJ Anderson, his emergence as of late has been absolutely incredible. I think he is absolutely deserving of the increased role he has had in that offense. And that's something that we should mention because the last time we saw Gurley on the field, it was more so on the sideline. And that brought a lot of speculation. Was he injured versus the Saints? Was it just a difference in game plan? Was it game flow? What was it? Personally, I think it was just riding the hot hand with CJ Anderson. That's why he got more snaps. I will predict that in the Super Bowl, we're going to see something around 60 to 40 percentage in favor of Todd Gurley at the running back position usage. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if, he doesn't come out hot, a little bit cold, then CJ Anderson gets the majority of carries. So let's keep that in mind. But now switching over to the New England Patriots running back core, I actually think it's a little bit better than what the Rams have. And let me make my case here because obviously Sony Michel, a rookie running back, but he has been absolutely sensational in the playoffs. Then you've got Rex Burkhead, who coming back healthy, I think is a great option to go ahead and give Sony Michel some rest, a good change of pace back. And then James White, he's the big reason why I think the Patriots have a little bit of an edge because of what he can do as a pass catcher. I think he's one of the best pass-catching running backs in the league. For that reason, I give the Patriots an advantage there. But as far as wide receivers and actual pass catchers on the team are concerned, I think the distinct advantage goes to the LA Rams because they've got guys like Reynolds, Higbee, Cooks, Woods, whereas the Patriots, it's pretty much Edelman. You know, I do think he's great. I think he's very underrated. Great chemistry with Brady, a guy that's not afraid of any hit, great hands, but after him, we have to look at Gronk, and even though Gronk did have a lot of success versus the Chiefs, or relatively speaking, I should say, which we said if he does, that's going to be a big reason why they beat the Chiefs, and it was. And I'm going to say it again here, Gronk needs to have a big game yet again. Are we going to see him more as a tight end that's blocking or one that is pass catching? I think the Patriots are going to try and get Gronk involved early and often in this game. But even if he does get going, I still give the Rams the advantage offensively as far as pass catchers are concerned. You know, I think they have more depth, and I do think they have the ability to put up more points on you. I think they are a little bit higher scoring offensively. They've got that potential. They've got that home run potential, basically, advantage over the New England Patriots. As far as the offensive line play is concerned, I think both these offensive lines have played good in the postseason, but I got to give the edge to the Rams simply because they're not going to be going up against a guy in Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh that the Rams have. You know, that might be a little bit unfair, but that's the situation, and that's also a reason why I'm giving the edge defensively to the Rams, because look, the first two times that Brady lost in the Super Bowl versus the Giants, the formula was clear, and that was defensively in the trenches, get to Tom Brady, put pressure on him make mistakes, and I think that's going to be the battle to keep our eyes out for, because it's going to be that offensive line of the Patriots versus the defensive line of the Rams. And I think whoever ends up coming out victorious, whoever has the better performance, is going to be the side that wins the Super Bowl. So keep your eyes out for that. Personally, I do think Donald and Suh are going to be big factors in this game. And then let's not forget about a guy in Aqib Talib coming back from injury. I think he's had a big effect on that defense and that secondary. Last time we saw him play, you know, he absolutely shut down Michael Thomas. So that's another advantage there. And he also is familiar with that Patriots squad, having played for them before. As far as the Patriots defensively, look, you know, I do think they played a little bit better in the playoffs. I don't think they have as many big names as the LA Rams do, but I do think they do a good job of making adjustments when they are needed. Bill Belichick does a very good job of taking out your top playmakers. So even though I don't feel as comfortable in that Patriots defense as I do in the Rams, I still think they will be able to do enough and keep the Patriots in the game. And since this is the Super Bowl, let's throw in another matchup here to watch out for, and that is special teams. Usually don't look at this too much, but let's focus on the field goal kickers here because we've got Gostkowski versus Greg the Leg. I think both these guys consistent. I would probably say Gostkowski is a guy that I have a little bit more faith in this big stage. But as far as range, which I think is what's really going to matter here, you got to give the edge to the Rams and Zuerlein. We saw some long clutch field goals by him versus the New Orleans Saints, and he's known for having a huge leg. So, you know, if this game comes down to a late field goal that tied or for the victory, I don't think the Rams are going to be scared of 50 plus or, you know, 64, 65 yard field goal. I think they're going to give the chance to Zuerlein, and they're going to be okay with the outcome. So advantage there for the Rams. And then lastly, you know, coaching. As good as Sean McVay has been, you know, that young play caller, that young head coach that's revitalized that Rams offense, I still have to give the edge to Bill Belichick. He's got more experience. He's been here. He's done that. You know, as long as he doesn't pull any Malcolm Butler antics and bench some superstar before the start of the Super Bowl, you know, I think Bill Belichick will do fine. I think the Patriots will do fine. And the last thing that I do want to mention to keep an eye out for, I don't really think it's going to be game deciding, but, you know, the refereeing. and the calling of penalties and throwing of flags. I think that'll be something that a lot of people are looking at, especially the way that the AFC and NFC championship games went. So I think early in that first quarter, it's going to be decided about how the rest of that game flows as far as what's called and what's not called, whether they're going to let the guys play or they're going to be very stringent. So that'll be entertaining to watch out for. But ultimately, as far as what I expect to see in this game, look, I think it'll be high scoring. I think it'll be a close game. I expect something in the realms of 30-27. I think it'll be right around a field goal margin of victory. I wouldn't be surprised if it's less than that, maybe by 2 or 1 points. Ultimately, however, I like the New England Patriots. I'm going with the team that's been here before. I'm going with the team with the better quarterback. And I'm going with the team with the, in my opinion, better coach. For that reason, I like the Patriots to win it. At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams, especially if they shine on the defensive side of things, if they come out victorious. I'm not sleeping on them anymore. And for that reason is why I really like the Rams on the spread. Because on the spread right now, it's right around -2.5, -3. If that number goes up more so in favor of the Patriots, right around -3.5 or -4, I am jumping all over the Rams on the spread if I'm a bettor. I love that line. Like I said, ultimately, I wouldn't be too surprised if the Rams win this game because of the presence they have on that defensive line. I do like the Patriots outright, but on the spread, I think the Rams are a smart play. So if I'm a betting man, I'm taking LA there, the Patriots outright. And what matters most, hopefully, fingers crossed, is that we just have a great Super Bowl. It's entertaining, it's competitive. I think that will be the case. And as always, if you guys have any questions, let me hear it in the comment section. Did you agree? Did you disagree with these hot takes? Let's have a great discussion leading up to the Super Bowl. It's going to be our last game of the season. We're going to go a while without football. So let me hear it in that comment section. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in future videos.